Alright, welcome back to another video. More GTA lore. Why the Grove Street families became extinct. Which, if you don't know, play GTA San Andreas. Alright? Here we go.
Man, I'm telling you, dude, Grove Street's gonna man. They done.
These people talking regarding Grove Street didn't come from what Grove Street was. This is a younger generation looking at GSF as the old guys, something we'll see. Saying that to say, at this point, it's safe to say that a lot of people in the Grove Street families when we saw it was the last of an already dying breed, regardless of this coming from a different gang or not. Everything that took place in 92 will show why they didn't and couldn't last years to come. GSF, to say the least, became always being a step behind. When Sweet was a wonder of the state of Grove Street, it showed us what role he always wanted for his neighborhood to have, regardless of how it might have looked, which was simply standing on principles, even if that meant looking a certain way.
Hey fool, we losing the streets, man.
Nah, we just standing by our principles, homie.
But our principles are making us bitches, man.
Again though, this didn't matter to Sweet how things looked. He would even go to show having hope things would end up working for him in the hood's favor, thinking what he seen to be something that would blow over.
Everyday ballers get stronger and you and I get weaker. You and I get poor, man.
Man, this shit'll blow over. It always does.
But things never really would. So actually being a leader, this would only make GSF a target, now being in the way, and something that already was shown to be worthwhile at this point. Again though, things would be set up for things to not be in Grove's favor. Things becoming the small cul-de-sac they came from versus everyone else. Gangs all willing to indulge in the new versus one gang going against it, only looking at things that became unimportant. But even then, Grove Street was still seen being behind, trying to get things back to what they were actually used to.
Takes you back some, huh, CJ? Yeah.
Things has changed around here.
CJ, watch your back around here, man.
How I get so bad?
Early on, we saw Ryder care about graffiti.
Man, some pizza place keeps painting over our hit up, man. Shit is beautiful. Teach the owner a lesson. The fucking Grove Street. You damn?
He might have did what he did as far as still playing a part in crack, but this showed this was still in his heart to do for GSF outside of Sweet and CJ, while still showing again being behind. But this would show why weeks earlier this was said about them, along with something else telling.
Man, Grove Street ain't even no real gang no more, homie.
Shit changes. And this shit changes everybody, man.
Notice how this guy spoke on things changing, things not being about something like graffiti or the things Grove Street stood on. Saying that to say people didn't want to play the hero role that they perceived GSF to be doing. They wanted money.
Guess you're right. That shit changes everything, don't it?
For sure.
That wasn't telling. Ryder reviewed Sweet had the same problem he did.
Better drop by and see Sweet. He's been yapping on about that graffiti too.
Take this paint and go hit shit up. Start with our own set first.
Later on, we spread out, take the whole hood back.
Smoke here let CJ and Sweet think something like this was still important, knowing this was something to say the least out of style with their peer group. Tagging is more for the young guys in my opinion, which is why they were the only two doing this, staying with their principles more or less, but still being the last in the know that this isn't progressive anymore.
Watch for those rollers as I tag this up.
Then of course, things became trying to actually be reuniting with the families, still trying to have things how things once was.
We've been putting time in the hood, but we gotta get the homies back together. Like the old days.
Yeah, you right.
But the real thing to take from this is the debate Smoke and Sweet had. Sweet felt selling meant you didn't care about where you're from. He would then say how crack never made a gang strong, but that's exactly why other gangs were thriving while GSF was weak, which is why Smoke didn't agree.
Man, nobody give a shit about the hood.
I do.
All they do is sell yay and ruin the place.
No crack ever made a gang type. I don't know, man.
He then would continue to downplay what's going on, but Smoke would say something telling regarding GSF.
You can't knock a homie's hustle, Sweet. And Marks ain't soldiers. They idiots trying to be businessmen.
Yeah, but they down with us, man.
Like Smoke said, people in Grove Street still had love for Grove Street. Money was just a plus to keep everyone on the same thing. Beat Up confirmed this after again still being off of Grove Street, but money being the new.
Wait, hold up, man. What happened to for life, nigga?
The only thing that matters is the hood, homie. But you'll never understand what getting this money is like. You know what, man? Get the fuck.
Things had to work for everyone involved, which is why people strayed away, that not being a thing over there. Smoke even spoke on being off at GSF later on. He went against what Sweet was pushing, already getting to the money, but still showing again that love money couldn't bring.
Hey, Smoke, tell me why you moved out the Grove.
Man, got some money from my aunt. I mean, it's a nice place and all, but the Grove is in my heart, baby. It's where my dogs is at.
Yeah, okay, homie.
At this time, Emmett was one of the only people that was willing to help. But keep in mind, he's obviously part of an older generation, so of course he would feel the same way, but not even realizing he was someone who was also behind.
I'm 100% behind you, boys.
And remember this, Emmett is the place for guns. I've always got high quality merchandise.
I seen Noah Cannons in this strap in the museum.
Warnings will still show regarding the best interests that should have been for the gang.
People have to open their eyes and their hearts, CJ. I'm talking about the choices all men face, brother.
Sometimes they seem real, but other times there's no choice at all.
But Grove Street, regardless though, saw things through of what they allowed themselves to do. But down the line, they will be reminded about things not being set up to come out on top outside of what everyone only thought and saw.
And just as I was about to help those poor Grove Street boys.
Oh yeah? How?
I like the status quo, Carl. I like having all you bastards doing my job for me, blowing each other's guts all over the sidewalk.
Dumb bastards.
Now, if it's brought to my attention that one tribe gets an unfair advantage over another, that truly troubles me, Carl.
So what you saying, man?
I'm saying the ballers have brains, Carl. They watch the news. I'm saying they're making friends, cutting deals, and tooling up for more than half-assed drive-bys.
Man, cut that bullshit, Tenpenny. Just say what you mean, man.
Tenpenny implies gangs needing to be at the same level. So when the ballers started to be weakened,
Looks like we backed them ballers against the wall, huh?
was why when things got too big for Grove Street, things was put to a halt. When Glen Park was took over, this stemmed from their principles, of course.
We got a problem. Some punk-ass base-ass fool has been slanging to his Grove brothers.
What? Who?
Check this out. He's been buying shit over in Glen Park. You fuck up Glen Park, and that turncoat bitch-ass nigga's gonna lose nerve and make a break for it.
But things like that couldn't happen. This wasn't just about a neighborhood. At this point, this was interfering with everyone making money, along with Grove Street starting to be looked at as what they always wanted. The good guys, to say the least. Keep in mind, no one likes a hero when it's messing up what they have going on.
Grove Street family, they're on their way back up in a big way. They took over the whole neighborhood, and now they're cleaning the whole shit up. They ain't playing, man. I'm really glad to hear that. Keep that shit off my street, that's what I want to say. Make sure you get the right bad guy, homie.
By the time the family got to set up a meeting, we seen it firsthand to not work in their favor once the LSPD made sure of that. But again, Grove Street still getting stronger. This next thing still will be telling to simply again still being behind.
Listen up. Y'all down with CJ, right?
Yeah,
sure. He's been through a lot. I mean, we all been through a lot. But CJ's helping us clean up the hood. He's taking the fight to the enemy. Showing all of us how he used to be.
Yeah. What it used to mean to be a Grove Street family. Yeah.
Notice what spoke on was things being how things used to be for them. Showing them still trying to find that. But this would be another unsuccessful move. Many OGs within Grove Street would die and go to jail for their beliefs.
That's right, Leanne. I'm Richard Burns, and I am in a terrible part of town. A town under siege by hoodlums. Gang and drug wars are plaguing the city. A huge, sudden upsurge in cocaine sales have been reported. The street wars between gangs of Ballas and Grove Street hoodlums came to a head recently when several senior Grove Street gang members were killed, while others were incarcerated. The police describe that as, and I'm quoting, excellent news.
This alone, though, would continue to show why things could never be the same or how it used to be. They would even be talked about like things was already over.
You know, for a minute, Grove Street, they were back on top. That's what I was reporting. And the Ballers was getting put back in their place. But that was just for a minute.
That's over now.
Gannon and East LS, they're both seeing some major gang activity. So y'all be careful out there.
During the CJ being out of LS and Grove falling, Ballers instantly took over Grove Street, showing how easy things was for that street to conform without the likes of these certain people. Things will still happen trying to support what Grove Street fought for. But just like before, another reminder is said, which of course would be telling. CJ down the line still would be considered to be hero-like.
Carl!
You're a fucking hero down in LS. I just spoke to my cousin.
Not with my people, I ain't.
You did something good, eh?
Yes, you did. But this isn't over yet.
But once him and Torino caught back up, this would be caught out to why that really couldn't be the case, along with the result of trying to be that.
Now, the money that we raised, the friends that we won over, have helped us immeasurably in our overseas interests.
Kids like you expect heroes. We're fighting a war out there. I'll be a hero and I'll lose.
Just like Torino, GSF will also lose with playing a hero role. Everything earlier proves this to be true. He would even continue to hear the side GSF played on, hearing the confirmed inevitable. What he's going to say shows things to be bigger than purple and green. He explains why things couldn't revert.
Damn! Hey man, how you know all this stuff, man? And won't you stop it?
You just don't understand, do you, kid?
It is cheap, but I'm sure.
Look, it's all white knights and heroes. We have to make decisions, kid. You know, I try to set bad people on other bad people, and sometimes I let good guys die. It's a very delicate decision. Look, over here, you got all the scumbags inside the country. And over here, you got all the scumbags outside the country. And me and my colleagues, we're the fucking pivot. Keep the government in work.
Torino saying how him and his people are to change, a hero not mattering, again shows it was nothing GSF could really do but buy time, especially with Sweet about to still continue the ways of things that was no longer. Going back to LS, CJ, as many know, all the info he had that he's playing a losing game, he would start to have a different approach, while Sweet never had insight. Taking back over Grove Street, Sweet will be the only one trying to stick to the principles he always mentioned. But even he almost failed to come into a realization, again, of the real pivot.
I'm tired, man. I'm real tired. Tired of putting in the work, and still shit don't get better. Tired of seeing my family fall apart.
Sure, things are screwed up now, but we finna turn a corner, man. The day is coming when the Johnson family will be at the top.
Things even still would be telling once GSF will be seen at his house, to say the least, about to be seen in denial.
You gotta love your hood like you love your homies. It's always been that way.
And ain't nothing ever gonna change.
I done seen it all. What up, CJ?
What's up? Yeah, I'm glad to see things back the way they used to be.
Nah, it ain't like it was, but it's gonna be.
Throughout, again, the problem GSF faced was trying to have things back how things used to be. And the design to not make money wrote their fate at a time how things used to be wasn't the case anymore. Everyone in LS at this point throughout became being for self, things being bigger than just their rivals. And ultimately, this would be what's normalized from this point forward.
If you don't get this shit together, what you think this place gonna look like?
What Grove Street ended up looking like became everything they always fought against, to say the least. 21 years later, we saw that firsthand. Firstly, as many know, Grove Street was taken over by Ballers members, something they took pride in.
This ain't a family hood no more. This Ballers, baby. Hey, families got kicked out of here a long time ago.
Things would show what really was important that Grove Street didn't see at that time. Following someone with no money just for a cause became not cool.
Man, who gonna worship a broke-ass king?
Even when it came down to colors, this would be a thing that wasn't important. Years before that was looked at to be everything.
I ain't seen your colors yet. You gotta fly the flag, man. Ain't nobody gonna respect you if you ain't representing your hood.
But back to the result of the inevitable, this would show something again that's old.
Why aren't you like head to foot in green with the Ballers like head to foot in purple?
Man, that's old school, man. We don't do that shit no more.
Oh yeah? So how you know what side someone's on?
Man, you just know. Man, everybody already know who everybody is. It's just the law to say certain gang insignias make you part of some vast criminal conspiracy or some shit. They just want to hit you with that RICO charge.
Of course you had people that respected Johnsons within the family still.
You know O.G. Johnson is gutter as a motherfucker.
But a lot of people, as we seen, adapted more into what again Grove Street didn't do. Franklin and Lamar even attempted to make a set, doing everything they didn't do. This newer generation knew the outcome of what they did to be for nothing, and they didn't want that for themselves.
Families for life. For real, homie? Man, but I guess, shit, we really gotta push this whole forum thing a bit harder, dawg. Forum, baby. Forum. Nigga, I got a cool symbol for that. Throw it up. Cool, homie. But I thought forum was the opposite, about moving past the signs and the mad dog and all that other bullshit. So you saying reality is a gang sign, hanging on a fucking street corner, striking on a fucking wall, then shooting at your cousin cause he wears purple and you wear green. We still arguing about that old ass bullshit. I wanna get paid, dog, not be the backdrop in a rap video or a documentary. Nigga, I wanna motherfucking pay for a rap video and a documentary.
GSF was even downplayed, continuing to show their ways became something not respected. People again looking up to the things that was looked at to be too far decades ago.
Are you Grove Street? Is Grove Street like a myth?
Man, that's some old school shit. Hell no, it's not a myth. But times have changed, homie. I'm families. I guess like they was. But things is different now, homie. Ain't like the early 90s no more, so no.
All GSF really did was buy time for something that already was set up to happen regardless. Drug sales became bigger than what they ever was and could have been. Even the encounter in Grove Street is telling alone. At a time, their home was everything.
Looked like base heads and took over the spot. Let's go home. This is home, man. Get these fuckers out of Mom's house. You was born in there. Damn!
Just for the same thing GSF despised to be sold on these same stomping grounds, even the same house.
Where's this thing happening?
Down Grove Street.
Hey, look, everybody be cool, man. Lamar about to do his thing, all right?
Courier service. Package to collect. You got the grip? Present and accounted for. You like that, huh? Sample? Now we talking. My throat getting numb already.
Grove Street families, to say the least, became being in the way. These different sets throughout at this time was making money. So with GSF being behind with the turn of things, trying to find their way to get things back how they seem fit, only stirred things. A lot the gang did was off of impulse, with an older way of thinking, with nothing to show for their doings, mixed in with something that kept things going. This alone was why Grove Street didn't resonate years later to come. In the game within the gangs, it became okay with being out from self, although at a time that was considered something different for one group of people. Ultimately, why the Grove Street families became distinct and became what not to be generations later.
Right. That's not it. So yeah, that was why the Grove Street gang went extinct. Times changed, they just didn't keep up, I guess. Tragic, but it happens. Oh well. That's the end of that. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.